Now we are going to discuss about buoyancy. Some objects can float on water. Why? Why they can float on water? Some object cannot float on water, they will sink. So what is the reason for this? We are going to discuss about that. We are considering an example which is a ship. Ship can float on water. It can move on the surface of water because of buoyancy. Buoyancy is the floating capacity of an object. So this bottle is also having floating capacity. What is the reason for this floating capacity? We are going to discuss about that. This bottle is having a weight. Weight is always acting downward, right? It is always acting downward in direction. When the force is acting downward direction because of the weight, the force is because of weight, there will be upward force which is exerted by liquid. It is known as buoyant force. So there are two forces. One is weight to downward direction and other is buoyant force. This one is weight and this one is upthrust, the buoyant force. This upthrust is known as buoyant force. So these two forces are equal. That's the reason for the bottle is able to float on water. The bottle is able to float on water because these two forces are balancing each other. The upward force exerted by the water on the bottle is known as upthrust or buoyant force. So what do you mean by buoyant force? The upthrust exerted by water on any object is known as buoyant force. When we are dipping an object partially or fully in water, in a liquid, there will be buoyant force. The buoyant force depends on the density. If the density is more, if the density of liquid is more, the buoyant force will be more. The magnitude of buoyant force depends on the density of fluid. Buoyancy will increase with increase in density of liquid. If we are increasing the density of liquid, there will be more buoyant force. So it is very easy to float an object which is having a liquid which is having more density. Why objects float or sink when placed on the surface of water? So we are considering two objects. One is nail and one is a ball. It's a ball and nail. If we are dipping this object into water, this nail will sink and the ball will float. What is the reason? It is the same liquid. The reason is density. The nail sinks. The force due to gravitational attraction of earth on the nails pulls it downwards. There is an upthrust of water on the nail. So nail is sinking because of gravitational force. But we need to think that nail is also experiencing an upthrust. But this upthrust is less than this gravitational force. The ball float because less density compared to water. Upthrust will be more. So ball is having less density. That also one of the reason. First reason is upthrust is more. Because of the density. Less density. If an object is having less density, it will float on water. It will float on liquid.